Okay, so this is a supplement to help you do your lab. So for week one, when you log into the course, you would go to week one, and to connect to the lab, you're going to click on iLab. Okay, when this screen appears, you're going to go down to software required software, and click on connect to Skillsoft Lab. Now, once you're here, move down to catalog, and here you're going to see your course, and click on the course and click on launch. That will connect you to the Skillsoft environment, and we load your lab. So I'm here at this point. It will list all my labs. So I'm going to start with week one lab. So click on week one lab. Once you click on week one lab, you're going to see the screen. These are your virtual servers. All of these are your virtual servers. You have one, two, three, four, five, six virtual servers. This is the window that you're going to work in. Now, this is going to be, for example, when I connect to a server, the server will appear here. This right here on the right is the instruction for the lab. So the first thing that we're going to do here, we're going to turn all our systems on. So in order to turn the first one on, just click on it. That little switch button shows up. You may see a Java pop up. Click on Run. I'm going to click here afterwards and then turn it on. To turn the second machine on, click on it, turn it on. To turn the third machine on, just repeat the same thing. If you get an error, that's fine. I got it because I uh, turned them on earlier and I forgot to turn them off. I didn't log off the way I was supposed to. Now you can turn all of them on. This is already on. I turned these on earlier so that I don't waste your time here. So, well, let me explain this. This is the domain controller. This is a Windows 7 machine. This is your Kali Linux machine. This is a Linux server. This is your Windows 7 client. This is your Windows XP client. Now, every time you connect to them, you're going to see the screen displayed on in the middle pane, and it will give you the IP address and the name of the servers. These are the name of the servers. Now, this one has not come on yet, but that's okay. We're not going to need this for this lab. So here's the second one, the third one. Let's see, it looks like this one didn't come on. So let me turn this one on, right? This is on because we can see the screen. This one, I'm checking here. This one is on. Okay. This one is on. And this one is on. So this is your regular desktop. So if you want to go to start, do whatever you used to on your desktop machine, you can do the same thing here. So in order to get to, well, this one just came on. So in order to get to the Kali machine, we have to be careful. We cannot log in directly because there are systems sitting in the back end. So we're going to remote connect to them. In order to remote connect to the Kali machine, I'm going to click on this PLAB Win 702, and I'm going to use the Tiger VNC viewer to do that. So double click on it, and if this is not there, you type it in. But remember to make sure that you add this colon and in number one right here. That's very important. Otherwise, it's not going to connect to it. So to connect to the machine, all I have to do is click connect. It comes back and asks me for the password. So the password is PASSW0RD. Enter, and it will connect me to the Kali Linux machine. Now, this is leftover from last time, so I'm going to close it here. Nothing major. So, in order to open a shell in the Kali Linux machine, remember I'm here, I'm connected to this machine, right? I'm here and I'm connected to the Kali Linux machine here, right? All I'm using VNC, Tiger VNC to do that. And once I'm connected, I should see this screen. Now I'm going to open a shell. Click right up there in this little icon. Here is a shell. If you want to close the shell, click right here and that will close the shell. Open a shell. 90% of our work will be done in shell. So make sure we know how to do this. Close it right here. One more time for the last time, and I'm going to open it. Okay, now the first command that I'm going to show you how to use is to type who am I. Okay, this will display who is logged into the system. Right now, the user logged in is root. Very important. The root user has the highest privileges in Linux. Okay, so the next command I want you to use is clear. That will clear the screen. Clear the screen and start over again. Okay, so back to who am I? Okay, and clear. Remember, it is CLS in DOS. In Linux, you have to type CLEAR. The next command I want you to understand is ls, list. So if I hit enter, it would list all the folders and the files that are in that directory, in the root directory. And here they are, right? You have boot, etc, lib, and so on. I'm not going to continue, but you see what we have here. If I want to go to a folder, I would type, well, before I do that, let me show you another option with the ls. ls with space minus L will give you the same information with a lot more details, and also it will list them in horizontal order. Here is the same information in horizontal order. Now, this right here is the name of the file. This is when it was created. This is when it was changed. This is the size. This is the owner of the file. This is the group that the owner is in. Now be careful. This is you'll hear something different here. These are the permissions of the file. The D is saying that it is not one single, it is a directory. Okay? I tend to interchange the word file and directory, but this is a directory because of the D right here. Remember, I'm logged in as root, so root has read, write, execute permission on that folder. Root has the group that root is in has read and execute on this folder. Everybody else has read and execute on this folder. Okay, so fairly easy. Now, let me clear the screen again so that I do not get a clutter screen here. CLEAR, enter. That clear the screen. Let me also type ls. This time, just the standard ls without any switches. The things that you add at the end there with the minus and then the characters called a switch. So if I want to move to a folder, a subfolder, for example, etc is a subfolder. I'm going to type change directory, cd, etc, enter. That will change me to that folder. So if I want to look in that folder, I type ls. That will show me the folder. Notice that it has a lot of information in there. Of course, if you do my ls uh, space minus L, that will give you all that information in a different format. Now, if I want to go back up, I will do cd space dot dot. It will take me back to the parent folder. I'm back. Notice the prompt has changed. Okay, the prompt has changed. Let me try this again. cd mnt. I know mnt is a folder. It will change me to the mnt folder. Okay, notice that the prompt has changed. Look at the prompt right here. It has changed, right? It became MNT. If I want to go one level up, CD dot dot, that would take me one level up. Okay, CLEAR will clear the screen. Okay, now another command that I want you to know. Let's say I want to create an empty file. To do that, I'll use the touch command. Touch command, my empty file. Enter, and that will create a file called my empty file in this folder, in the default folder, which is here, our root folder. So look at the file, it is there. Now notice that there's nothing in that file. So if I do ls space minus L, it should have a size of 0, and which it is has a file of 0, right? Because there's nothing in it. So let me type clear again here to clear the screen. Okay. Now, how do I put things in that file? What I'm going to do, I'm going to use an editor called LeafPad. It's in the editor with Kali Linux, and I'm going to type my first folder. Oh, empty folder. I'm sorry. Empty. I forgot if I call it file or folder, but that's okay. I could find out. Let me open another shell and find out. So open another shell. Let me do ls here to show me. And it is my empty file. There it is right here. So I'm going to close this folder. Uh, empty file. Oh, my empty file, right? So my, my empty file, enter, and it will open it. Okay, now I can type things in it, whatever you want to type in there, right? Bunch of stuff, right? And if I want to save it, all I need to do here, click on save, it will save it. Now, if I want to put it on the desktop, all I need to do, file, save as, and I could put it on the desktop, and you'll see a little icon on the desktop that shows the file. So save, now it is on the desktop. Now, if we go back and look at it now, let me close it. If we go back and look at do an ls, guess what? Remember, it can't be cap. It has to be all lowercase. ls, well, see my empty file is there. If we do ls minus L, my empty file is not going to be 0 anymore. It has 108 bytes, which is about 108 characters. Okay? So now let's see how do we change the permissions. The permissions right here. Remember, right now, root has read write and nothing else, and everybody else has read and read. Now, to do that, I need to use the command change mod. Now, the good little thing about Linux is if you don't know how to use a command, type man, the name of the command, CHMOD, and that will bring the manual on how to use the command. Now, you can read the manual here, or you can hit Q to get out of the manual. Now, how do we change the permission on that file? Now, remember, in Linux, a 1 means you have the permission, a 0 means you do not have the permission. So I'm going to do this by using 1. If I do 111 means I'm giving the user read, write, execute. If I do 111 again, I'm giving the group read, write, execute. If I do 111 again, I'm going to give everyone else read, write, execute. But remember, Linux tend to make this a little bit easier. 111 in binary equal to a 7 in decimal. So I can use 7. So to change mod, issue the command change mod 777, so 111, 111, 111, to my empty file. And notice that now If you do ls minus L, look what happened. Now the user group and everybody has every permission you want to. Read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. Now let's try 5, 5, and 5, see what happens. We're going to change mod 5, 5, and 5. Remember, a 4 plus a 1 is a 5. Let's think about that. A 4 plus a 1 is a 5. Change mod, CHMOD, 5, 5, 5, my empty file. Well, one word, right? Now we do ls minus L. Look what happened. Notice now, look what it did. Read, which is 1 in the first column, so that's a 4, plus a 1 in the last column, that's a 1, so 4 plus 1 is a 5. Let's try 666. Can you tell what it's going to do with 666? It's going to do read write, no execute, read write, no execute. You don't have to change all of them. You can change 1 to 7, 1 to 6, and 1 to 1. It doesn't make any difference. So let's see if it finds the file here. Now ls minus L, and here you go. Look what I have. I have read write, read write, read write. Now let me ask you to guess this one. What if I do a change mod 111? Right? Change mod 111. Uh, what would you get? Now notice that 111 means a 1 in the last column. So a 1, you have 3 columns. A 1 in the last column is just means a 1. And so that's going to give everybody execute permission. Well, let's see if it does. Right? If you notice, everybody has just execute permission. Okay? Now, to continue, let me just clear the screen here. And I'm going to change it back, change mod, back to 777, my empty file. And hit enter. Now, if you look at it, everybody, well, ls minus L, everybody has full permission. Okay? Now, if I want to copy this file, I'll use the command cp. cp my empty file, right? I'm going to copy this in a place called etc. Remember, there's a directory called etc. So I'm going to copy it there. Let's see if it does. Well, no error. So let me do cd etc, and I'm going to do ls here, see if it's there. Well, if you scroll up, you should be able to see it. Let me scroll up here, and oh, I scrolled up too much. So if we go slower here, or I go slower, you should be able to see my empty file in here. A little further down, a little further down here. All right, here it is, right? That my empty file I just copied here. So if I want to remove it, now how do I get out of this? So to get out of this, do a Control C. Always get you out of, if that doesn't work, do a Control Z. Enter. That'll get you out of anything you need to get out of. Now, if I want to delete this file, I can be anywhere, or I can be here and delete it. I can say rm remove my empty file. If I hit enter here, it'll delete it, or I can be above cd dot dot to go to one level above, and I can delete it from here. rm to delete. I'm going to specify the directory and my empty file. Enter, and it's gone. If you go back over there, you look at it, you'll see that it is gone. And you can remove a directory the same way. rm, the name of the directory will remove it, but you have to be careful with a directory. You always want to make sure that the directory is empty in order to be able to remove it. Now, if you want to look at a quick view on what is in my empty file, do cat my empty. Cat stands for catalog, and it will just show you what is in there. That's the junk that is in there. If I want to see the top 10 lines in my empty file, tap head, my empty file. It'll show you the first 10 lines. If you count here, you'll see 10. If I want to see the last 10 line, type tail, right, my empty file, and it'll show you the last 10. Okay, this is a quick way, and you use this a lot with logs, the last 10 logs that was entered or the first 10 logs that was entered. Okay, now let me do a clear screen here, and I have covered almost everything that you need to do on the first lab. You need to look at 10, 15 commands or so. I've given you ls. I've given you cd. I've given you man. I've given you uh, let's see, rm, remove directory. I've given you let's see, what else have I given you? Clear, right? Enter, and it clears the screen. Change mod, right? Remember that one? Change mod will give you change the permission. Tail, see, and head and cat are different command that I've given you. Using these commands, you should get around in most places in Linux. Of course, if you want to get out of something, do Control C or Control Z. If I want to get out of this, I type exit, right? That takes me out of here. At this point, that should be enough for you to do your first lab and be able to fill in the template that is in my doc share for lab 1. So I'm going to end it right here. We're going to do one of these recording every week so that you can keep up with the lab. So I'm done. Good night or good morning, and I will see you next week.